Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the process of how small lot manufacturing works. Basically, taking your concept, getting a prototype made, and then I'm going to delve a little bit into the process of the sample approval before you're ready to go into mass production. So I know I took a little bit of a break there with all of this global virus situation going on. The good news is my factories overseas are pretty much all open again, which is why I have these new samples here. I'm super excited about that came in. So what's great about this industry, a lot of my clients are not here in South Florida, so I work with them remotely over video, and we're still able to get their samples and their production made with very, very little delays. Right now, most of the delays have been with the shipping and trying to get goods out of the US. So without further ado, I'm going to go into step by step how I work with the clients. The first step is getting your prototype made. I'm actually wearing a sample here. The reason I wanted to wear a hoodie is because hoodies are trending big time right now, and more of this unisex hoodie look, which I would call it like your boyfriend's hoodie, this kind of oversized look. So this is a style that inspired my client's design. This was made by Helmut Lang, and we basically used for the size and the fit, and then I'll go into detail further, along in the video about how we select the fabrics and everything. So I just want to show you, I'm going to pull up here on my laptop, the technical sketch here that I send to the factory with all the different call out details and the size measurements that they follow. And then what I get back is these amazing prototypes. You can see here with this particular client, they wanted to do it in 2 different fabrics so that they could wear test it. This one is a really, really soft French terry, not your typical hoodie fabric. So now, as soon as I measure these out, take pictures, get all the details of both of these in the 2 different fabrics, what I do is I then send it to my client and they get to wear them, wash them, test them out to make sure they like the fabric, which is super important before you decide to go to production, because you need to make sure, does the fabric shrink? Is it too hot? Is it breathable? All these little features that, you don't want to have returns when your product goes to market. So the next step I'm going to go through is this particular client is not in South Florida, so I'm going to send them the fabric color options for their style. You'll see there's so many options that they could choose from. So what I've negotiated with my Asia factories is they could do 200 pieces per style in 2 different colorways. So, and then the more your quantity goes up per 100, you could add on colors. So they want to do 200 units, so they'll select 2 colors from this color card. And because they chose 2 different fabrics to sample in, I'm sending them substitute fabrics that they could choose from for their style. I'm giving them options. So like you'll see here, this particular fabric comes in 2 different weights. This one's a little bit heavier weight, this one's lighter weight. So it really just depends on the client. When the client gets the sample, what I usually do is I'll set up a video call with them and we'll go over each little detail of the style. A lot of times the factory will substitute the trims and the hardware because unless you're buying in bulk, a lot of times the suppliers will only have, a few pieces of a piece of hardware available to use for sampling. A lot of times your sample is not exactly what your production would be. So, which brings me to my next point is, let's say the client approves this everything's good to go. Maybe they, maybe they're like, I want to taper this arm a little bit, or I want to add some stitching here around the neck. Those are really simple changes for me to send to my factory and tell them to go straight into the pre-production sample. Now your pre-production sample is the sample that they send for ultimate approval. So that's where I look at it for fit, any kind of stitching quality issues. I send it to the client checks off on it, and they say, this is approved to go to production. And that's a great sample, because from that point, the client should be able to take that sample, use it in their marketing, take photos of it, even use it as a sales sample. And then they know exactly what to expect. So around the time of the approval of the pre-production sample, the client will know the cost, what it costs per unit to make the garment. And at that point, they could put the 50% down on the production before they start the production. And usually I would say 9 times out of 10, if the client puts down the production money, that the factory will do the pre-production sample for free. So, and then at that point, I work with my client to start designing their inside care labels, the outside tags, and any kind of, novelty packaging that they want to do. So it's really customized, and this whole sampling process to get these samples usually takes, for original design, I would say 3 weeks. If they have to source like a specialty fabric that they don't have access to, it could take a week or 2 longer. So yeah, it's really exciting. And as you can see, these are first samples, and the way I see it, there's just, you see here, it'll always come with like the details of the style, the brand, the color, and it's pretty dead on at this point, the first sample. So now it's just up to the client to add any comments that they have. Obviously, we'll probably do some sort of logo or custom hardware for production, but I have to say, I work with the best factories, and we're pretty dead on with these. And it's so funny, I ended up loving the style so much that I went out and bought the same hoodie that my client actually sent me to measure from. So I like this unisex hoodie thing. It's definitely a trend that's happening out there in the marketplace. So there you have it. I'm going to put down below in the description box links to getting an Asia sample made, and it's only $700, and it's really good for people just starting out that have a design in their head, and they just want to get a prototype made and see where to go with it. And the good news is you don't have to know how to communicate with the manufacturer, industry language. I do all of that for you, as well as negotiate the costs and deal with the logistics of getting your goods here in the country. So please like, subscribe, follow, share with your people, and send me any messages, questions that you may have. And please stay inspired. I know we're all inside right now, and make the best of it. You could start pulling different design ideas together while you have the time. Why not? So see you guys soon. Bye.